Hello everyone, it's Caroline. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hear me out with the concept for today's video. About a year ago, I posted a 5-star predictions video. And if you don't know this about me already, I love more than anything, not just on Booktube, but like YouTube in general, I love reaction videos. So I thought that we could watch that video together. I could react to it, but I could also use it as a moment to reflect on why I thought that I would enjoy these books a year ago and whether or not that remained the case, since I have read these books now theoretically. And then I thought we could use those reflections, or I could use those reflections rather, to make some new 5-star predictions for the year. It just seems to me to be very statistically practical that if I reflected on my 5-star predictions from a year ago, that I could more accurately predict 5-star predictions for this year. But maybe that's not true, you tell me. Obviously, I am not a library. I cannot remember every single book that's existed or like is even on my TBR, so that's where it might be fun if you all come in. If you all have any 5-star predictions for me based off of what I potentially did or did not give 5 stars from a year ago, and why I did or did not give that book 5 stars, I think it would be really cool if you could give me some recommendations as well. I'm really sorry, I already realized that I keep looking down, and it's just because my laptop is down here, please bear with me as I try to get my headphones connected and get screen recording. This process, for whatever reason, even though I've done it before, always seems to take me a million years. So see you in a second. I think that I finally figured it out. Let's see what a year ago Caroline thought that she would give 5 stars. Hello everyone, it's Caroline, or Miss B Overseas. Thank you so much for joining me for a video that I have no business filming. Although I love to read books and talk about my feelings about books with strangers on the internet, I feel like I have no idea how to actually rate books. I feel like my ratings bear no actual weight. Interesting. A year ago, Caroline was very self-aware. Something that should have maybe said at the beginning of this video was that in 2021, I basically took the whole year off of giving the books that I was reading actual star ratings. So like a year ago, Caroline knew what she was talking about when she said that I don't really have any business making a 5-star predictions video. But here I am again a year later, doing the same thing. So because I didn't give a whole lot of books that I read last year actual star ratings, it might have to happen for this video that I give them like post star ratings, or I just go based off of general vibes, like I really loved this or I really hated it. So sorry if that's gonna be a problem, but let's keep watching. First book that I'm predicting that I'm going to give 5 stars to is More Than This by Patrick Ness. I really can't tell you a whole lot about this. It's interesting to see. I haven't watched this video back, so like I remember a few books that I may have put on this list. Sorry, I might be yelling. I actually can't hear how loud I am when I have these headphones in. But it's interesting to see More Than This on this list, just knowing how I felt about it now. I don't think I want to say anything quite yet about how I felt about it. I really want to see more, or I guess hear more of why I thought that I was going to give it 5 stars in the first place. I have read from Patrick Ness in the past, and the stuff that I've read from him that I've loved, I've super loved. I also think that this could be a story that has a lot to do with grief, and from what I've read of Ness in the past, I feel like Ness writes grief, particularly teenage grief, very, very well. I feel like he handles it with care. I feel like the whole dying and waking up in a different world, or like dying and waking up again, I feel like that trope alone is something that when I read it, I am very engaged and drawn into that. I think that, okay, Okay, I already have so many things that I want to say. First of all, I have a very weird relationship with Patrick Ness in that I either super love what I read from him or I super hate it. Like it ends up being 5 stars or 1 stars. It's interesting with More Than This. I don't know that I could say that I was completely right because I don't know that I would, thinking back on it now, say that I gave this 5 stars. It's probably closer to a 4 star. So this is probably the one book that I've read from Patrick Ness where it hasn't been, like it's fallen more in the middle of the star rating system. Also hysterical that I talked about the dying and waking up again like in a new reality or parallel universe kind of trope being something that I may like, because I just finished reading a book called Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl, which would have been the perfect book to put on like my new 5-star predictions list because, oh no, I activated Siri. Go away, Siri. That entire book is dying and then waking up again, and I loved it so much because of that. So that would have been the perfect book to put on this list, but I already read it and I already know that I loved it, so I'm not gonna cheat and put it on it now. I think that based off how I felt about this, it would be safe to put another young adult book that deals with grief that also I really enjoyed More Than This. I don't know if I'm gonna say it in this video or not, but I really loved More Than This when I was reading it because of the post-apocalyptic kind of feel to it. So this may be kind of a stretch, and it's at the forefront of my mind because I was just watching someone else's video where they were talking about this book, but I'm thinking about The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. As far as I can tell with this one, it follows 2 sisters. One of them is stranded on an island, and then another one I think is locked or like trapped maybe in this city, and she is looking for that sister who is stranded on this island. I've heard that it's post-apocalyptic, and maybe there's no loss and grief in terms of death that's evident in the premise, but there is loss in it, from what it seems like, loss of a sister kind of, and wanting that sister back and coping without having that sister with you. And it's young adult, and it has a beautiful cover. So I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that based on how I felt about More Than This and why I thought I was gonna enjoy it in the first place, this seems like a pretty safe 5-star prediction. So I'm officially solidifying that title. Let's see what the next book is. Next, let's just get this one out of the way. It's Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It really has no business being on this list because I don't really have any oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Your experience that should lead me to believe that I am going to give this 5 stars. I have never read anything from Blake Crouch before. This falls in the adult. Okay, it's so funny that I say that because it had no business being on that list. I'm absolutely correct. I'm not an adult thriller lover, and I'm not really an adult sci-fi lover, and Dark Matter is a book that combines both of those genres, but this was a 5-star for me. I absolutely adored Dark Matter. I read it in 1 to 2 sittings. It was so gripping. I know that we kind of already talked about how I love the idea of dying, I guess, and then waking up again, and that kind of maybe plays into the idea of parallel universes, which this book explores. Since reading and loving Dark Matter, I have been particularly interested in picking up his other kind of adult sci-fi thriller, which is called Recursion, I believe. I, surprise, surprise, know nothing about the plot of this one. Statistically, it would make sense that if I enjoyed a sci-fi thriller from an author and they wrote another one, like it has potential to receive 5 stars again. So this may be a risk, but I'm just gonna put it on my 5-star predictions list. Next is White Teeth by Zadie Smith, which is adult literary fiction, which is a genre that I have in, I don't know okay, I'm gonna listen to more of what I had to say, and then we'll talk about this one really quick. Enjoyed in the past. I'm still kind of dipping my toe into the literary genre pool. The book follows two World War II veterans, and although I don't enjoy stories about war, like real life historical wars,
still true.
What I am looking for in this one, why I think this is going to get me 5 stars, is because I love an intimate, generational book.
True.
So here's what I mean by that. I don't want to read about the history of a family, like a spanning, expansive history. If we're following 2 to 3 generations of a family or a group of families, and then kind of seeing how the children may have been impacted by their parents, and the parents don't know that they are influencing their children because of things that they went through earlier before the children were even born. I'm gonna pause myself with what I'm saying because I feel like I'm lying to you all. I have not read White Teeth by Zadie Smith, and I feel that it was unfair that I even put it on there in the first place. I think that I don't really know what I was thinking. Maybe I was trying to make myself seem like a certain type of reader that reads literary fiction, which I do still want to read White Teeth by Zadie Smith. She's like this really prolific literary fiction author, and while I have enjoyed literary fiction in the past, I feel like I haven't read widely enough within it to put something like this on a 5-star predictions list. Although now that I hear myself talking about why I thought that I would love it, it does still remain true that I do enjoy intimate generational stories. Kind of like what I was saying in the video, it's very specific. It can't be too sprawling and expansive, but I don't want it to be super tight, like from one person's perspective either. Books that I'm thinking of that do this, that I loved and gave 5 stars to, are Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson, and then also The Death of Vivek Oji by Akwe Gayemezi. I guess I could still keep this one, like just carry this one over as a 5-star prediction, or you could tell me maybe if you've read White Teeth by Zadie Smith, if I'm going in the general direction, like maybe there's another book of hers that I should pick up first. Like if I'm looking to explore Zadie Smith, is White Teeth the one to start with? Or do you have any other suggestions for me entirely that aren't Zadie Smith but still kind of do the literary fiction, tight, generational family story? If you do, let me know. Let's see what the next book is. Next up on my list of books that I think that I'm going to give 5 stars to is The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. This is young adult contemporary that focuses on this group of teens living in a small, I think southern town, and they're all in their senior year. Graduation is imminent, and I think that it just focuses kind of on small town life, not knowing what to do after graduation, not wanting to leave each other after graduation. I've learned about myself as a reader with my preferences is that if I am to truly love a young adult contemporary, it typically needs to focus on a group, whether that be a friend group or a family group of young people. I think that gone are the days that I can follow just like a singular character and their thoughts and feelings and really love that. I think that's what okay, so here's the thing. I hated this book. I could not have been more wrong in making this a 5-star prediction. It was on my like least favorite books of last year, although hearing what I had to say about why I thought I would love it, like small town, group of teens, kind of existential dread, not knowing what to do after graduation. The book did all of those things. Every single one of those things it did. I just did not enjoy the execution of how it was done. I do still think that it remains true that if I'm going to read a gritty young adult contemporary, I would like it to be focusing on a group rather than one main person. I think I've reached the end of my rope when it comes to backlist young adult. Not to say that I'm never going to pick it up ever again, but there's so many wonderful and beautiful young adult new releases that are just constantly coming out that I need to like put a cutoff somewhere. So I think that I'm kind of done exploring backlist YA, and I want to just look forward to new release or current YA. Looking ahead at what could be a potential 5-star prediction based on how I felt about this, it's hard because although I didn't enjoy this at all, I do still think that I am capable of really loving young adult contemporary that focuses on a group, particularly if they're older, and something about small town feelings really do something for me too. But I think I want a new release or like a current release, something that's been released within the past year or something that's potentially coming out that has all of those things. And unfortunately, my knowing about new releases, particularly when it comes to young adult, is just not what it once was. So I think I'm gonna invoke your help. Do you know of any new or recent releases that match those things that I could put on my 5-star predictions list? Last on this list is Long Division by Kiese Layman. This book is probably most deserving of being on this list just because there's several different elements that are leading me to believe that it's going to be 5 stars. True. One, I have read a memoir essay collection from Layman, and in his essay collection he kind of talks about his writing process for this book, and what he wrote about the book is what initially intrigued me. Okay, I don't know how much of that I am going to include my reactions to because it's mostly just me summarizing the book itself. So editing Carolina is gonna have a field day with this, I'm sure, if she's not already. Long Division by Kiese Layman. I have read it, so yay for me. I didn't hate this one at all. I think that there was a lot of it that was very heady and complex, and it's interesting to hear myself say that based off of me loving Kiese Layman's collections of kind of memoir-based essays, which was How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America, and then me pivoting and putting Long Division, which is his fiction work, on my 5-star predictions list, when what I really should have done, and what I think I'm gonna do right now, is put Heavy by Kiese Layman, his full-length memoir, on my current 5-star predictions list, because I think that's what I should have done in this video. Long Division did have a lot of stuff that I enjoyed about it. It was very bizarre. Just the characters, the plot lines were very bizarre. There were some really profound and heavy moments that I enjoyed, and then some cool things that he did with language in the story. And then there were some parts that just got kind of lost on me, I think, too. I think I'm doing the right thing now in including Heavy in my 5-star predictions. I am a lover of memoirs, and because I've already enjoyed short style memoirs from Kiese Layman, I can't imagine that I wouldn't enjoy his full-length memoir as well. Let me scrub back through this video, that way we can kind of recap what new books I'm putting on my 5-star predictions list. Based on how I felt about More Than This by Patrick Ness, I am officially adding The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. Based on how I felt about Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, I am putting his other adult thriller sci-fi, Recursion, on my 5-star predictions list. Because I haven't actually read White Teeth by Zadie Smith yet, I'm either going to carry it over and put it on my new 5-star predictions list, unless you all can convince me otherwise, but for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm carrying it over. And based off of my thoughts about The Serpent King, this is where I really do need your help, or I guess I need to do more research of a new release or recent release or future release young adult title that is a gritty contemporary that focuses on a group of people or group of friends or just a group in general. Based off of my feelings about Long Division and really my feelings about How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America, I am going to put Heavy, which is Kiese Layman's full-length memoir, on my 5-star predictions list for this year, and that pretty much finishes the list off. This was truly kind of a blast just because my feelings were kind of all over the place, which makes for hopefully an entertaining video. I don't know, you tell me. I'm excited about every single book that I am now theoretically going to read within the next year. And then maybe around a year from now, I'm going to film like a super meta 5-star predictions video where I can watch me reacting to this video and then make more 5-star predictions, and then it's just gonna be in a continuous loop for all the years to come. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for however long it has been that you've been watching this. And I hope that wherever you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.